Hi, my name is Andrei Bezverhi. I am a founder and CEO of SOC Prime, and I have a big announcement to make, probably the biggest one in the company history. So SOC Prime has been on the market since 2015, and today is a day where we celebrate the 10-year anniversary of our product threat detection marketplace. Well, today is also the day where we are changing almost everything that company did into the new phase to service our customers better and to service global community better. There's going to be 4 things that I want to share with you today. Number 1 is complete change of SOC Prime products into entirely new capability. Number 2 is changes to our community and open source products. Number 3 is Threat Bounty, the programs that we ran from 2019 to 2024 for crowdsourcing threat detection. And number 4, of course, given the time of this announcement, I have to talk about Hugging Face breach, which you probably heard about a lot, but I will have a different perspective on it because I'm probably not entitled to say too many things as I have not firsthand investigated it. So let's start with products. For most of our existence, and for people who probably are watching this, SOC Prime is known for the marketplace, where we would share Sigma rules and means to translate them to 65 different platforms to find latest cyber attacks. This is how we started, and by design, we ran a freemium community / premium model because 3 guys from Ukraine starting a company in 2015 could not, dream for bigger adoption of our product stack because cybersecurity from Ukraine in 2015 did not sound that exciting. These days, we're a business that operates on 4 continents, across 155 countries. We have our users. We have capital from the leading cybersecurity investors from Silicon Valley and individual cyber entrepreneurs. We also have been around for 11 years. Meanwhile, so SOC Prime has changed, and meanwhile, Ukraine itself has changed, as you know. So we're changing SOC Prime naming and capabilities of our products. The core of SOC Prime, as we call it the Prime Core, the former Restoration Marketplace, is our dataset, is our center. So over 10 years, we have together crafted and evolved a dataset of 1 million detection rules, 13,000 labels in 65 languages, with all the threat intelligence attached, which formed a core of detection intelligence. So the core is formed. If you have any business relationship with SOC Prime, you are part of the core. And I really thank you for being the part of the story. If you do not have business relationship with SOC Prime, you would benefit more from 3 products that I'm going to talk about now. And core is kind of a closed ecosystem at this point. The number 1 product which requires your attention is actually Prime Architect. So Prime Architect is a specialized AI which have built from ground up, and if you saw our AI bootstrap video, this is where we walk you through the journey, how we got there. It is built from the level of GPUs, VLLM, and Linux all the way to UI and MCP. It is built on the data sets that we collected and we contributed to and we evolved. And it's built to be your, not just a Sigma rule translator like people who know Uncoder is, but it is built to be a strategic advisor to help you in defining detection strategy, prioritizing tactics, and operationalizing it to the codified objects of detection and threat intelligence. What do I mean by this specifically? You can give Uncoder a threat report in any of the languages supported by JAMA 4, and it will understand the report, it will launch tools and playbooks and roles, create for you any threat intel object imaginable, so MITRE ATT&CK flow, diamond model, cyber kill chain, what have you, extract indicators of compromise, find Sigma rules which contribute to this report, map it to MITRE ATT&CK, generate rules for specific things in the report, generate attack simulation scripts, generate cleanup scripts, login environment. All of that in a very short time frame, all of that exposed as strategic intelligence for you. So you can interact with it and say, architect, help me to create my detection strategy based on these threat reports, these PDFs, these TIX files, these images, which are then analyzed. All of this happens on SOC Prime owned hardware in SOC Prime Cloud with 100% privacy. We do not learn on your data because we leverage the dataset we created. And at this point, we are auto-improving our dataset at immense speed every day. We are releasing more than 1,000 novel detections per month, and all of it is tied to our intelligence detection. So that's Prime Architect. It's built to actually have a detection architect on the team. So I myself and SOC Prime team were big believers into the ascendance of detection engineering role to detection architect's role, and of security analysts just deserving better inputs to help them to discover, investigate, and respond to cyber incidents. So beyond Architect, there are two other products. One of them is Prime Detect, which we have marketed for the last 8 months as DetectFlow. Prime Detect places a 4-tier, 7-dimensional correlation engine inside your data pipeline. Open source, it's built on Kafka and Flink, and we're looking into applying it to as many data pipeline technologies as possible, because we are not a data provider, we are a detection vendor. We've been detection vendor for 11 years, and we intend to be detection vendor for the next 10 years or more. And we can apply all the rules we have in multiple tiers, change the process of onboarding them, meaning selection, tuning is not required if you run Prime Detect. It can be there to polish some angles, but out-of-the-box experience does not require the manual effort, because how can you fine-tune 20,000 detections? Well, we actually designed an engine which can analyze them in real time. And by real time, I mean under 1 second at this volume. So the production customers we have today, they pump terabytes of data through DetectFlow, run tens of thousands of Sigma rules, and agentic correlation on top, only to ship investigation draft to the analyst or SOAR or AI post-processing upstream. So this is what DetectFlow is about. It allows you to correlate infinite amounts of data at pipeline level before it even reaches your SIEM. It reduces your cost on your AI tokens, on your GPU bills, because your AI gets higher value telemetry. And we could only have gotten here if we've been meticulously and really seriously improving quality of the data set we collected over a decade. Prime Hunt is a smaller, lightweight version of DetectFlow. It actually does retrospective analysis. So if you're familiar with federated search concept, when instead of moving the data, you are launching queries against your data, that's what Prime Hunt does. It supports over 11 market-leading technologies, data lakes, EDR, next-gen SIEMs, and it runs those detections with a laser precision. I wish I used a smarter term. In a small, specific precision relevant to particular threats. So what do I mean? Anytime a threat report is dropped on the public, our architect turns it into an active threat object, which encompasses all the things we talked about in architect. One of them is rules, another one is understanding your threat profile. The Hunt will automatically select 5 to 20 rules for you, launch them against your SIEM EDR data lake, then get back the statistics of rules, not the logs, and correlate them using higher order Sigma rules, and then unpack it using our local agent. So all correlation happens, and you would see not just attacks which follow the patterns for which threat reports exist, you would also see proximity attacks, which is the next frontier with tools which use capabilities like MITRE and the like. So we already are starting to ship this capability to our customers in August, and I wanted to share that this is possible. It's not that difficult to find proximity attacks if you have been collecting rules for a decade, and if you can add specialized AI on top. So Architect, Hunt, and DetectFlow together are just better tools for your existing team for the era of AI. They are the tools which will help you to build AI SOC, an autonomous SOC. By no means they are, this list is not finite. This is not everything you need, but this is the intelligence portion operationalized into whatever SIEM, EDR, data lake, and AI processing you will use. And these are infrastructure products. So instead of downloading a rule Why don't you run all rules? Instead of tuning the rule, why don't you let agent and our engine tune it? Instead of putting all the rules into your detection, into your Git pipeline, for CI/CD, why don't you connect MCP runtime to us and craft your detections? Because it's not about writing a rule. We actually had a whole podcast about detection engineering evolution over the last decade with our CISO Vlad, and we touched the part that detection engineering has always been broader than rule, broader than SIEM, and it's becoming even more important. So Architect is there to help you craft the strategy. And with all these capabilities, the big changes come to our freemium. So we are turning off Uncoder IO today forever. Maybe a shock, because I know thousands of engineers use it monthly. Well, I have two news for you, which are both good. Actually, three. So number one, you can still translate rules using PySigma. In fact, this is how it should be done. Number two, you do not need to translate Sigma rules. So from our perspective, we have arrived at a reality where you can run Sigma rules in pipeline natively. Either you insert a Sigma rule or pipeline translates the rule to its index automatically. And it's not just about SOC Prime DetectFlow, which is open source. There are other technologies out there, like Tenzir, which allow you to natively support Sigma rules. And there is more coming. So why do you want to translate a rule so you can tune it, so you can deploy it into a SIEM and be limited by a couple hundreds of rules, instead of just automatically stream them into a pipeline and run tens of thousands of rules? That's a big question. And so we do not want to provide Uncoder to support Sigma translation publicly. Of course, Uncoder remains a tool inside Prime Architect for all our customers, and it will be evolved there as well for runtime tasks, because not all detections live in the pipeline. The other news, as I mentioned, the core is formed. So as we're not positioning in the marketplace anymore to new customers, there is no more free threat detection marketplace. There's just no threat detection marketplace anymore, which means if you were using it to download Sigma rules, you can use Sigma HQ. You can also use DetectFlow, which has Sigma HQ preloaded and actually ship you to a full lab in a nice Docker container. You can run air-gapped if you want, and you can replay log samples straight to the container, and you can build correlation chains, and you can tune your rules and many other things inside a container. So instead of providing you centralized cloud experience, we provide you decentralized private experience. The source code for Prime Detect, DetectFlow, is on GitHub by SOC Prime. So that's a big change. And like, people can be like, whoa, SOC Prime, you have running free tools, now you're not running free tools. Now, hold on, I just said DetectFlow is open source. So for academia, for research, for non-commercial use, it's free, it's on GitHub, so it's more free than anything we ever made. And we're committed to keep developing that product, because it's actually the same code base as powers our largest enterprise customers who use Prime Detect already today. The other part is paying a tribute to Threat Bounty. If you are one of 1,000 developers who contributed rules to SOC Prime under Threat Bounty program, which culminated at hundreds of thousands of dollars paid out in bounty per year from 2019 to 2024, then I'm very grateful to you, because you helped us to validate the big part of our strategy. However, we did shut down the program when ChatGPT was used more and more to generate Sigma rules. We also have always paid program fees from our profits. None of our customers ever paid a dedicated fee for bounty content. So the program has run its course, it achieved its mission. Now we have arrived to an era of AI, and we want to once more pay tribute to our Threat Bounty members. You will receive a personal email with exclusive access to Architect AI, just for you, for extended period, no trial, no strings attached. In return, we ask for your feedback and to suggest how we can build out the next phase of the bounty program. Because I think the next chapter of Threat Bounty program of SOC Prime is security for AI. Now, we're getting into the most talked about part of security these days, which is a Hugging Face breach. So it comes with another freemium announcement. So if you think about Hugging Face breach, if I look at it not from the social media hype, but from scientific and engineering perspectives, then I have questions. The report that we saw is not a complete threat intelligence report. It's, of course, disclosure of a breach, but it's partial. And we see lots of activity is done which almost resembles like endgame marketing activity. But an agent got instructed by OpenAI and did like really damaging things. However, if you map this to MITRE ATT&CK and MITRE Atlas, you would kind of look at it from different perspectives. So what is MITRE ATT&CK and MITRE Atlas? If you are not in the space, this is the next best thing we have to periodic table of elements in cybersecurity. There is nothing else that our industry has created that comes even close to comprehensiveness and to adoption compared to MITRE ATT&CK. So it's a phenomenal job by MITRE Institute. It describes how attackers behave, the tactics, techniques, and procedures based on real cyber attacks, based on threat research which top cyber vendors and certs contribute. And it's formed, I think it's almost a decade, slightly less. It's not 10 years old yet, no, it's still 1 year to go, I believe. So MITRE ATT&CK accounts for 697 techniques and sub-techniques which can happen in cyber attack. Now, not all of them need to happen, but if you look at Hugging Face breach report, you have 7 techniques and sub-techniques only. 7 out of 697 is slightly less than 1%. So we only know 1% of possibilities today. Now, I'm not saying all 697 techniques happened, but people are saying, oh, agent just does everything, every pass, every way. That's 697, not 7. Number 2, probably, realistically, the breach took anything from like 10 to 20 to maybe 40 techniques and sub-techniques. So we're saying like a quarter or a third of the picture. And we're drawing conclusions which will shape our industry, shape our buying decisions, our defensive strategies based on 25% of the picture. It's difficult, and it's not comprehensive. If we look at the incident from MITRE Atlas perspective, which is a specialized framework by MITRE, built for AI-driven attacks and AI defense, and again, 7 out of 155 is 4.5%. We are seeing only part of the picture. Again, not 155 need to happen, but it's same ratio. So there is not enough information shared to public to evidently draw conclusions, right? And the whole notion of, oh, an AI company attacked another AI company and in return they will do webinars together and partner up, this does not connect with anything else that ever happened and with kind of basic rules of how cybersecurity works. I'm sorry, that just doesn't make sense to me as a person who worked in cybersecurity for the last 20 years and who's kind of on the front lines of helping, defensive agencies and governments anywhere from, United States to Central Europe to Western and Eastern Europe and all the way home Ukraine and all the way to Japan and Australia. Like this just does not make sense. So maybe there is more information that we are entitled to know as a global cybersecurity community. So this led me to an idea. Actually, it reinforced an idea we had 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, myself and my colleague, our CISO Vlad, we bought a domain called LogTotal.com, which I just talked about on LinkedIn, but LogTotal principle is that just like similar projects, you upload your logs, which is what Hugging Face did. They upload their events of the attack. Events are logs and packets, right? So they upload, maybe they did forensic memory dumps, but I would assume those are logs. So you upload your logs into a portal, and in return you expect AI to tell you what went wrong. Now, AI does a lot of approximation. Cybersecurity is all about precision and edge cases. AI alone cannot solve or investigate a breach today without intense human oversight or without a very mature harness and data set and history of investigations. There's a lot of things you need to put into AI for it to start to make sense, and then you need to focus the model itself, adjusting its context, attention, and many, many other things, not just chat, right? And yes, there is percentage of the population who is capable of doing that with a stock model, but when everything is on fire, when you have an incident, do you really can you really do that? So LogTotal is built as a community-free project where you can upload your logs, if that's what you do, to a service which guarantees you a few things. First of all, we guarantee that we will provide you investigation report under 1 minute from the moment upload finishes. Second, 1 minute is our benchmark to analyze 1.7 million events, which is 100 times more events that was declared on Hugging Face breach. They declared 17,000. Number 3, we're not gonna train our AI on it. Inside LogTotal, we run edge open weight models. That's why it's fast. And we also run our DetectFlow 4-tier 7-dimensional engine. That's why we have the engine. So all we are doing essentially, in simple terms, we're putting a website on top of an engine that we have been building for the last 2.5 years, for which we collected the dataset for 11 years. That's why it's coming out August 31st, just like Threat Detection Marketplace came out August 31st. Same date, just 10 years later. A little bit of a time travel. But that's what we are doing. So if you want to try and to test our technology, you can just start uploading and see. And if you take my word for it, you still should sanitize your logs and don't send me your IPs and your admin passwords. Like, we don't want that in SOC Prime. We have really worked hard for 11 years to not have that data, and we intend to continue doing so. We will publish our defensive architecture, but as I said on LinkedIn and in this video, we are running disposable, immutable containers dedicated to processing your uploads. Meaning, the moment processing is done and you get a report, the container is deleted. Meaning, the project is free. I'll give you some of the internal inner kitchen insight. I don't store your data because I want to guarantee privacy, also because I don't want to pay storage bills. Very simple motivation there. There are faster things to process than disks. Also, we implemented end-to-end security on everything from, like, we built it on bare metal servers, so everything from the metal and all the two-way to UI is guarded by our own team, which holds the ground now for 12th year. So that's the service. As people start to use the service, we will add a special button, just like the best companies do it, like share anonymous statistics. So you'll have to opt in, not opt out to do it. And we'll be using these shared statistics and statistics of how many Sigma rules are involved in creating a report to improve Sigma rules on Sigma HQ, if these are community rules. So you will see exact names of the rules which triggered. If it's Sigma HQ rule, it will be there. If it's SOC Prime rule, the name will be there as well. So the product is good for our customers and for security researchers and for people who never met SOC Prime before. And of course, there will be AI involved, and of course, there will be agentic involved, but all of that happens under the hood. Like, it all happens inside, and you just get investigation in 1 minute, which is more important. GPUs, guardrails, tuning, all of that, there is not enough talent on the planet to lift this today. Or are you going to wipe code your incident response engine, right? By the way, we're not wipe coding LogTotal. This is actually done by people with software development background, which is equivalent to my cyber background. We do use AI tools in our development process, but this is actually mostly backend work. And why is this happening not before Hugging Face breach? I'm not part of the AI large ecosystem today, but I do my research, and we bought domain for LogTotal.com 2 years ago. So we knew this moment may come, and now it has come, so we have provided the capability, and that's the next big free SIEM from SOC Prime, and that's what we think about Hugging Face breach. Next time you need to investigate AI breach, you would be able to use LogTotal. You have about 30 days left, and that's it. So I thank you for your attention. I know this was a lot. Like I said, the biggest announcement in company history, but I welcome you to explore our new products, to speak with our representatives, to get DetectFlow from GitHub, and to explore LogTotal. Thank you.